Welcome to this new video on the Crew Motorfest, where I'm going to test out the crazy new things that have been bought in the game recently. There are 3 of them, 3 new cars added to the game, and it's true that when it comes to that, the Crew Motorfest is really strong. The new big cars always show up in this game first, and they arrive systematically, let's say 6 months to a year before they show up in other games. Things like Forza, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, and maybe Test Drive. On that point, the developers are largely above criticism. So, we're going to start this video by testing one of these 3 new cars, the Lamborghini Centenario Roadster, which is, if I'm not mistaken, an exclusive, the regular Centenario. We've had it in plenty of other games. For example, we had this car in Forza Horizon 3, it was the hero car. But the Roadster version here on Motorfest. For now, I don't think we've had it in other PC games or other console games, so it's something new. It's in the Iblis hypercar category. You can get it through a temporary bundle that costs $2,600,000 in which you'll get this car, plus another Lamborghini, which we'll test later in this video. Overall, it's still a beast. This car has 770 horsepower all-wheel drive and a Lamborghini V12 that sounds great in this game. Even better than in Forza, in my opinion. And then, obviously, we have all these little visual details that are still pretty cool. For example, the rear lights that end in a Y shape on the sides, the yellow lines on the diffuser, on the side skirts, on the windshield pillars, and on the small front diffuser as well. So overall, it's a beautiful car, a pretty fast car, a car that's obviously available with an interior view, which is also quite well modeled. But the car has aged a little bit in terms of aesthetics. Comparing this Lamborghini to modern ones, you can see nearly a decade separates them. It's still a beautiful car, and I think it looks great in the game too. It's still a pretty high-performance car since even stock, you can easily go over 330s. Most importantly, it handles well. That's what's really impressive about this Lamborghini. It's that it corners a bit like an F40 in the game, but even better, of course, since it's a hypercar. But it really corners, flat. It's like the car has 0 body roll. And since it has all-wheel drive, I think it's a car that's going to be just as comfortable on tight corners, hairpins, or others, as well as on big sweeping curves. So honestly, that's actually starting off really well. Next, we'll see if it's customizable. Let's check that out right now. By the way, it's available in several colors, but honestly, I think I'll leave it in black and yellow, or gray and yellow, which are really its colors. Let's say those are the most well-known ones. We have a few aesthetic parts, but nothing crazy really. We actually have almost nothing. In the end, we have the option to change the rims with either the rims, classic two-tone, full carbon, or branded rims like Tiers or BBS. We have the option to lower it a little bit if we want, and we can also do it for the rear of the car. Other than that, there's little customization. We'll add the small yellow calipers to match the color. We can also change some cool interior details. By default, everything is black. Oh, okay. It'll also look better with the yellow stripes, which we can make more or less visible or subtle. Like this, it looks pretty good to me. And you can either go with leather or Alcantara, so that's good. This car is less customizable than others in the game. This car, fully upgraded, has 1,570 horsepower for 1,570 kilos, a 450 top speed, and excellent braking. On the other hand, I find it hard to handle, strangely enough. But listen, to be sure and really know what this car is worth, on the performance side, we'll let it be tested on Kiss Me Combi, and we'll simply see what time we can achieve with this car. We managed to get under the 1 minute 35 mark without any tuning, since here, we don't have any tuning. We just have the car fully upgraded. So, we're starting from a strong position. It handles well, but I'm surprised the lateral grip stat is so low. Given how the car handles, you see, honestly, it actually turns really well. If you're used to playing the Chrome Motorface, you pretty much know at what speed. You know whether you're doing well or not in those corners. And we're not bad. It might not be the best, but I don't think it deserves to have a rating, especially one that low. And even in terms of maximum velocity and acceleration, it's not bad either. 450 without pushing too hard, probably around 470, 480, with nitro and serial peripheral interface before tuning and maximum velocity optimization. So no, it's actually pretty good overall. In my opinion, it's a good car, although it's true that it's a little bit expensive. Still a bundle at 2.6 million. So it's true that at that price, you can expect to have a really top-tier performance car. which, in my opinion, is not the case. In my opinion, we're dealing with a good hypercar, so it seems pretty fast to me, but I don't think I could beat my records with it. In my view, it's not that meta of a car. What's cool about Lamborghinis in this game is they're generally good cars. They're also very easy cars to drive. With all-wheel drive and strong downforce, they're generally good machines. Not bad, right? A 36 and some change, that's really nice as a lap time, but it's not super overpowered either. Well, they added this and that. For me, it's really incredible. Definitely not a given. I think it's the hypercar brand I prefer. I think that every time they release a model, it's just absolutely insane. And now, they've added the Imola version, which is still pretty incredible and I think is also an exclusive. I don't think we've seen this in other games, so it seems like it'll be harder to drive. It's not necessarily slower, but as a rear-wheel drive, it'll slide more and be tougher to control. This car, unlike the Lamborghini we tested, isn't bundled. It was added to the classic hypercar dealership, which you can buy in the game. I couldn't tell you how much it costs, because this car is a gift. A reward for players who have the season pass for the year. 3. If you have it, you're like me. It was automatically added to your account. And so, when you go to the dealership page, you can't see its price anymore. So I don't know how much it costs. But well, Pagani is still an ultra-luxury, ultra-expensive brand in reality, and they make very, very, very high-performance cars. So I think this car is basically one of the expensive cars in the hypercar category. On the other hand, it handles extremely well. It even handles better than I expected. That is, here, we got a little bit onto the grass on the inside of the turn, because here, we don't have any more grip. We're in a car with a V12 engine producing over 820 horsepower and weighing just 1,200 kilos. That's incredible. The Lamborghini had 700 horsepower and weighed 1,500 kilos. So here, it's really a whole different level. In terms of power-to-weight ratio, it's very powerful, it's very light. 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds. Top speed is about 370 km/h. And above all, just look at the braking it has. So, wait, let's pick up a bit of speed, just to get past 300. Look at this braking. It's incredible. Honestly, I think it's one of the game's best hypercars, especially with its crazy braking. And on top of that, the design is actually pretty nice. I'll admit it's not my favorite in terms of looks. Because actually, it has so many custom features by default. The Imola, it has so many wings, so many unique design elements that I feel like I'm seeing. A Pagani that looks like it was designed by a Grand Theft Auto developer, with visible customizations everywhere. I admit that I prefer the Paganis that are a bit more discreet, but the interior, that's really incredible with Pagani. The interiors are pretty crazy, with all the neo-retro elements, all the things that are a bit reminiscent of aviation. The gauges are arranged symmetrically. The tachometer moves clockwise, while the speedometer moves counterclockwise. And then, everything is relatively nice. Even though I think making it all black like this isn't the best looking option though. Petard's handling is going to be fun, that's for sure. Indeed. I think if we can customize it a little bit with a chrome color, even if it's just for the paddles or some small details, it'll look even nicer. It's a real beast and likely expensive in the game. The braking is like a rocket. Honestly, it's crazy because this car has the acceleration of a hypercar, but it has the braking and handling of a regular car. In racing, actually in pro racing, which is still pretty rare, fully upgraded, we have 1,200 horsepower for 1,240 kilos with maxed braking and speed, but otherwise unchanged. Lateral G's, acceleration. We're not rated very high, which seems strange to me considering how crazy the handling is here. So, we can customize it too. It looks great in green. The green carbon is actually pretty nice. And it's a bit like with the Lambo, we don't have a lot of customization, maybe even less. Because with the Lambo, at least we had different stock rim models. Here, right? It's ultra minimalistic. We're going to change the color of the calipers and the interior, but inside, we can change a couple of things. And you see, as soon as we put a color there, it stands out much more. All the elements, it's cool like that though. The pedals though, that little round pedal from Frere, that must be a bit weird. Okay, that's a shame. We can put metal, actually, the appearance, so we put it like this. We can put Alcantara too. We only have one finish available, so it's not very customizable. Well, listen, let's go with our Pagani. We'll see how it does, time-wise, on Kiss Me Combi. Knowing that, well, as you saw right away, This is a car that's going to take longer to launch than the Lamborghini, simply because it doesn't have all-wheel drive. Super powerful rear-wheel drive cars usually need more time to get a good start. On the other hand, the acceleration is still pretty good and so is the handling. But it's weird. I feel like we actually have less grip than stock, and especially, I feel like we have less grip than the Centenario, even though, on paper, it's supposed to be better. But hey, it's not a big deal. And by the way, yeah. In terms of Vmax acceleration, I think here, 490 should be pretty easy to reach, and maybe even 500 with the right settings. It's actually pretty good. Actually, yeah, it's weird. This car handles well, but I feel like the upgrades made it worse. It's a little weird. We should test it by shifting at the same speeds. I don't know, it's really weird actually, it's really weird. It's tricky entering the corner, but if set up well, exits are easy and it still performs strongly. But when it comes to braking, I'll give it to you. It's pretty incredible when it comes to braking. It's one of the best cars in the game for that. And we'll get a great lap time for a rear-wheel drive car. We should do fine here, likely around 135 or 136 similar to the Centenario. That's not bad for a car that's not great. Actually, that's really not bad at all. 135.943. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely faster by a lot. It's weird because I don't feel like I'm driving fast with this car. Yet, we're actually really quick. To wrap up, we'll test the other major new feature, which has received the most attention in the game, the arrival of the Temerario Lamborghini Temerario. It's the first time it's available in a game. We know it's going to appear in other games like Test Drive. Solar Crown is already confirmed, but while we wait for it to come to Test Drive Unlimited, it should arrive in 3 to 4 months. We can already test it on Motorfest. Something to know is that this car replaces the Huracan. The Huracan, which in the game, is in the Street Tier 2 category. Meanwhile, the Temerario is much faster than a standard Huracan, so they placed it in the hypercar category. We'll see how that develops over time, but it's true that we might end up with all the future Lamborghinis added as hypercars in this game, and not in the Street Tier because their performance is too high compared to the old Street Tier 2 cars. Maybe if one day they make a new The Crew, it could be a car that would be in the Street Tier category. It's odd to see this car and the Centenario added to the same category at the same time. This car comes in the bundle I mentioned earlier, with the Lamborghini Centenario Roadster for $2,600,000. It's a hypercar that no longer uses the V10, unlike the Huracan and Gallardo. Here we have a hybrid V8 that revs to nearly 10,000 revolutions per minute and produces power. In total, if I'm not mistaken, that's 800 horsepower for 1,600 kilograms. The car is all-wheel drive, top speed. I think it's 340, and 0 to 100 is around 3 seconds. Something like that, so it's very fast. However, I have to admit that not having the sound of the Huracan's V10 anymore is a bit heartbreaking. This engine still sounds great. After all, it's a V8 that revs to 10,000. No complaints here. The car is actually manageable, though you can still feel it's heavier than a Centenario or Imola we've tested before. These are two different driving styles. Interestingly, testing this car as a hypercar lets us try it with upgrades. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I feel like this car is kind of stuck between two worlds, because it's too powerful to be a street tire too. In my opinion, due to its driving dynamics, this car will be somewhat disadvantaged compared to other hypercars, especially regarding accessibility and handling. Still, it's here, and seeing it at the end of a game is cool. I'll show you as well, of course. The view inside is more modern, of course, than the Centenario we tested before, which is almost 2 generations behind, in the end, compared to the Temerario. I don't know why, but he always insists on black backgrounds for the car displays before customization, because as a result it kind of hides all the details and all the nice little things. Now this one has quite a few colors available, and honestly, purple, yellow, green. It suits it well, it already looked good on the previous Huracan, so it's going to be pretty hard to choose. Maybe a little yellow. I don't have many yellow cars. The customization is going to be the same as on the other cars we tested today, meaning very little customization. But still, this one has the option to choose slightly different rims, and you can lower it too. Of course, at the front and back, you can also customize the color of the brake calipers, and the interior is customizable as well. We'll go with yellow like the exterior. It won't look too bad in my opinion. We're here with Antara. And then, in terms of performance, what can we expect? We'll see about that. Let's switch with the parts we put on the Pagani. Wow, 1,656 horsepower. It's one of the most powerful hypercars, if not the most. VMAX over 450 at the end of the slider, good acceleration, braking is pretty nice too, apparently. And lateral grip, it's maybe a bit less good than the Pagani. Well, we're going to go test Steron. Listen, we're even testing 3 hypercars, 3 times 6.5 combined, and then we'll see if we do better than the one. I think we did about 943 with the Imola. There you go, but it's true that right away, the difference in launch between hypercars Propus and four-wheel drive hypercars are noticeable. The acceleration is wild. Let's check the handling. Damn, it accelerates, it's fierce. Okay, for this, we're actually doing pretty well. It looks great in yellow. Honestly, I have to admit that I like the little setup we gave it. It's a bit heavy. You can still feel it in corners, just like at the start. I think the nearly 1,700 kilos don't help it. It handles well and holds up, but is less comfortable, especially in corners. You can sense the Imola or Centenario are good, but not that comfortable. And then, as for the top speed, it's pretty much like all the hypercars we've tested today, which means probably between 480 and 490 before tuning, probably 500 with the right settings. It handles high speeds well, which is cool. The lighter it is, the better at corners. So, probably a very good hypercar. In the end, it's easier to drive than the Imola, and may even be better than the Centenario. The Temerario's only drawback in the Crew Motorfest is its weight. It's true that the fact that it's a bit heavy doesn't work in its favor, but I still think we're going to get a pretty good time. Let's slide it a little bit, you know? You have to do it, huh? To slide an all-wheel drive car, it really means it's super powerful, and this one is pretty good. We'll check the world rankings later to see if any players made it. World records. With the Temerario, that's not bad. Oh yeah, no, that's not bad. It's really not bad at all. A 35-595, that's not shabby. So yeah, it's really, really good. Its tuning, on the other hand, it's true that I never see it in the rankings for the best times on the Kiss Me combi. So I think that, honestly, with the tuning, it still gets a bit beaten up. By all the classics we're used to seeing at the top, is there at least one in the top 100? No? Ah, the Imola, though. We see it a little. We see the Imola a bit. I didn't see if we saw any Centenarios. I don't think so. It doesn't seem too different from before the ranking. Apparently, the Temerario is great without tuning, but not as good with it. The Imola is nice. It's the only one of the 3 we tested that ranked at the top today. Centenario is a classic, fast and easy to drive. The crew team is especially strong at adding content. Once again, 3 new things that you definitely don't see in every other game out there. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If that's the case, I'm counting on you to show it by leaving a like, subscribing, commenting, and of course, following me on Twitch, where I regularly stream live. Feel free to say hi to Primer to support the channel for free. I'll also share my instant gaming link below so you can buy games for less. By supporting the channel, we'll see each other soon in a new video. Ciao!